Hi everyone and welcome. Today I'll be doing a layout share for July and August combined. I will be sharing what I did in my traveler's notebook, my art journal, and I'll be sharing those 12 by 12 layouts with you guys also. Now if you want to see more details about any of the layouts, and there are process videos, I'll go ahead and post the link to those videos down below in the description. Otherwise, feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. And I will also be talking about my Scraptember plans a little later in the video, so stay tuned for that. So here we'll start with my traveler's notebook, and we're looking at the first layout, and I did use a traveler's notebook kit from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club for all the layouts in this notebook, and I do have process videos for all layouts as well. So yeah, I'm just showing you the cover was a black and white stripe, and I didn't want it to be completely black and white striped to the left of the layout, so I went ahead and stuck that first page down. And there I used some mixed media using that circle stencil, and I documented my grandson and his love for his trains. And most everything that I used on this page came from the kit except for the mixed media. Here I did a art journal entry, and I did it upside down, and you'll see I flip it right now, and the hearts were from the kit, as well as those mesh ribbons. I did do that background using oxide ink pads, as well as one of my favorite stamps. And I also used that circle stencil on the background. And I absolutely love how this entry turned out. So here I'll have to flip the book again, and this time I'm documenting my daughter, her visit to the orthodontist where she got fitted for her Invisaligns. And there I added 2 doilies as well as some embellishments. And those heart stickers and word stickers are not from the kit, they were from my stash, as well as the silver washi that I used. And there I added some splatters in silver and black, and I added a stenciled border using some silver Heidi Swap silver texture paste. So I absolutely love this layout, how it turned out. It's of my daughter, and all the background is pattern paper cut into little strips. I love using any scraps on my layout. And there I use a stamp to stamp the title, Beautiful. I also used the stencil that came with the kit once again for those little circles, and that pink pick raspberry color from my Distress Oxide ink pad, as well as some black splatters. And I did add a stamp at the bottom with a little vine stamp that I have as well. Here I use some puffy whites alphas to do my title currently, and I did use the picked raspberry once again just to color in to add some color to the title. Then I used the pattern paper to cut out my tags, where I added my currently for this month of August. Added some black twine, and I used the circle stencils on the background once again, and I can't remember the exact colors. I'm thinking that's fossilized amber and broken china. So I thought, why not do a currently list for my grandson? And his currently list was definitely fun to do. You can see I did a border with repeat stamping using some stamps from Engraved Stamps, as well as all those hearts. That's from the same stamp set. Now I did do some masking in those circle stamps where I added the words eating, watching, loving, and there's one more at the bottom, and I added his currently list to each of them. Here we have my daughter. She's entering 8th grade this year. And I used a lot of pattern paper on this layout, and a lot of it is scraps that I used up. And I added 2 tags. There we go with that stencil again. And I used the colors Picked Raspberry and Black Soot with that stencil. And I had a lot of fun doing this layout, and it came together really quick, and it was very easy. That's pattern paper to the top and bottom of that photo. So this will be my 9th and last layout in this traveler's notebook, and it's of my grandson entering 1st grade. So it says 1st grade, here I come. This layout, I kept it really easy. I did a doodly border. I added that last cloud that I had in the kit, as well as some elements from a cut apart sheet in the paper pad that I used. I layered up my photos and used the circle stamps from the Ink Road stamp set. And I added some splatters as well with the color Faded Jeans from the Distress Oxide ink pad. And here you can see I have a few blank pages, but I'm fine leaving them like that. I will be moving on to a new traveler's notebook starting in September, where I'll be documenting Scraptember in that new traveler's notebook. So next I'll give you guys a look at my art journal. So I absolutely love this layout. I love the colors that I used on this background, and that will be acrylic paint that I use on the background. Now I did use some gold stencil paint through a Vicki Boutin stencil, and the florals are a stamp that I used with black archival ink. And I also use the Vicki Boutin stencils for those butterflies that you see. The word phrases are from Tim Holtz, and they were chipboard pieces, and I pulled the back off just so it will be a little flatter on this layout. Now there is a process video for this layout. So my next layout will be my favorite so far. And the girl is from a stencil, and I did use some gold stencil paint. Now the background is Picked Raspberry and Black Soot oxide ink pads. And I also use a Vicki Boutin stencil to the top right, as well as those word phrases once again from Tim Holtz. And there is a process video for this layout. So this layout is very colorful and busy, but I absolutely love it. And I used some very bright acrylic paint on the background, as well as the Vicki Boutin stencil, script stencil, where I used the black paint through that stencil, and I hand doodled those leaves. I added some gold stencil paint as well to the background. And it says on the focal point, it says your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. And next up we have this layout with a pop of color. Now this is for a Create With Me challenge, where we had to use a scrapbook sketch on our project, and I did this art journal page using that scrapbook sketch, and I did my best to incorporate the elements from the sketch onto my layout. So I used the 3 circle elements, and I added some stamping, and I added that pop of color, which would be the red. I used this dimensional texture paste through a circle stencil all across my layout as well, and I added some of that red in a slanted and slanted lines across the layout also. The other layout I cannot show you guys yet because that's coming up this Saturday, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe so you'll see that layout. It's another layout in the Create With Me challenge. So now we can move on to my 12 by 12 layouts. So this layout does not have a process video, but it was very simple and easy to do. I used washi tape to do my background, and that's what I'm pointing out right now. I matted my photo, and my photo is of my daughter on her birthday. I also used one of my favorite stamps to do that little border towards the top left and the bottom right. And I added some puffy stickers as well. And I really loved the colors that I used on this layout, and I really liked how it turned out. So this layout is a Halloween layout, and I'm documenting my daughter in her Halloween costume. There is no process video for this layout, and I'm not big on themed layouts, so most of these items came from just regular everyday collections. The pattern papers came from the Paige Evans Turn the Page collection, and I just used some thickers for my title and just, you know, everyday embellishments. And I really love how it turned out. I am just not a big fan of using a lot of themed items on my layouts. I do like how they look, but I just don't use them very much. So this layout does not have a process video, and I'm documenting my grandson being mischievous. I believe this was for a challenge on a Facebook group. So my title says, "Oh my heart." He basically got tangled up in some of my ribbons, so I went ahead and took a picture of that, and I was happy to document it. And I used a lot of the Pink Fresh Studios Sweet and Simple collection on this layout. And those circle stamps are from Encrode Stamps. Now I used some Distress Oxide ink pads on the background, the white cardstock background. Then I matted that white cardstock on that pattern paper from the Sweet and Simple collection. Now there is a process video for this layout, and this is part of a Create With Me challenge series that I do here on my channel. And the challenge this week was to do a long title on your project. So I went ahead and used my Ellie Studio Title Builder stamp set, and my title says "Treasure these happy, absolutely awesome moments." And I used a lot of the Pink Fresh Studios Sweet and Simple collection once again on this layout. I also did a little bit of mixed media using some Distress Oxide ink pads in the colors Faded Jeans and Fossilized Amber, and I used the smooshing technique, and I really loved how that layout turned out. So I do need to fix that arrow and add some adhesive to the back of it, and that arrow is from Paige Evans Turn the Page collection. So here I'm documenting my grandson and his first tooth lost. So he gave me the biggest smile so I can get a really clear shot of his missing tooth. Now the circles on this layout are from the Encrode stamp set once again. The pattern papers are from a Simple Stories paper pad, and this layout was very simple and easy to come together. And I think this does have a process video. Yes, it does have a process video if you wanted to take a look. Now this layout, I just love this layout. This is from another series that I do here on my channel, and it's the Random 5 challenge. Now here we had to use 5 elements on our page, and I honestly cannot remember all 5. I know one was the smushing technique, one was a distressed product, one was a new collection where I used the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane collection, and the other 2 I cannot remember. Splatters, I think, was one of them, and I honestly cannot remember the last one, but there is a process video if you want to go ahead and take a look and see how it all came together. But I absolutely love the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane collection, and I enjoyed doing this this layout for this series. It was a lot of fun doing this one. Now here is a layout where I scrap lifted a member of my Facebook group, and I will go ahead and post that that group down below if you wanted to join and check it out. And here I'm documenting my family at Great Wolf Lodge, and we go there every single year on vacation. And I'm using, once again, a lot of the Sweet and Simple collection from Pink Fresh Studios, along with some elements from Freckle Farm, like those puffy yellow hearts and those clear arrows that you'll see to the lower right. The big arrow is from Paige Evans, and I use my title builder stamp set to stamp out the word hello on my title, and I use some puffy alphas from Pink Fresh Studios to add the word vacation. So my title says hello vacation. So this layout is another in the Random 5 Scrapping series. And once again, it's a Halloween layout, but not Halloween themed at all. Now I cannot remember once again the 5 elements I needed to use on this layout. I know one of them was stamping and one was the smushing or packaging technique. I cannot remember the other 3, but there is a process video for this layout, so you can check that out. And here I used a lot of those gold puffy stickers from the Sweet and Simple collection, as well as some of those heart stickers from Freckle Farm. And I absolutely love those little frames from Pink Fresh Studios Sweet and Simple collection. And there I just added a few little embellishments inside of the frame, and I love this layout. And this is of my daughter in her Halloween costume back in, I believe, 2015. So this layout is a scrap lift of a member of my Facebook group once again, and there is a video for this layout. And here I used a very busy background pattern paper. I applied some white gesso just to give me a white space to work with, and then I used some neon colored acrylic paint. I then went ahead and used some of those hearts from Freckle Fawn, and my title reads hello my sweet beautiful girl. And as you can see, I mixed and matched 4 different alphas to create that title. Those flowers are from Freckle Fawn, and the stamp set that I used to stamp those little open hearts, that stamp set is from Ellie's Studio, and it's the Live Laugh Love stamp set, I believe. There you can see some cork hearts, as well as a doily to the top left corner. And I really love how this layout turned out. So I went ahead and used the leftover pattern paper to create this traveler's notebook. And this will be the notebook that I'll be using to document Scraptember throughout the month of September. Now, for Scraptember, I will go ahead and post the link to the original share for this project, and I'll post that in the description below. But I'll let you know right now what my intentions are for this project. Now I want to use the daily prompts, which you'll see in just a few moments. I want to use those prompts and document those prompts in this traveler's notebook. And I will be doing, projects that's not overwhelming and that does not take a lot of time. And I will be following this prompt list each day. Now, if you go ahead and join the Facebook group, you can do this along with the group, and each day you can post your project, or keep it as simple as just posting a comment that relates to the prompt of the day. So you can do this project at any level you decide. You can even do the 12 by 12 layouts occasionally, and you can even just do a few of the prompts. You don't have to do all of them. So if you think this would be something you'd like to do, go ahead and check out the Facebook group that will be linked below and join us there. And I hope to see you around in the group. So if you enjoyed this video today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, bye.